If a thing were to paint something, do you think it could be considered art? We typically regard art as an act of expression from a conscious mind. If you designed an intelligent or at least semi-intelligent thing that could pick up a paintbrush and just do whatever, would that be inspired? Is that art? Does it have a vision, creativity? Or is it the heart of the creator of the thing?
Just define art, make a machine that says this art and this is not. From that definition, put the thing art into the machine and have your answer.
What?
What?
You misunderstand. I'm saying art is a product of a mind. You need a consciousness to make art.
Does the thing have a mind?
That's the ultimate question. Even if you create a thing smart enough to function like another thing, can they ever really come up with something on their own?
Just define consciousness, then put the thing into a machine that say it of consciousness or it haven't.
Is everything that they say and do based solely on pre-existing data, or can they innovate?
Define consciousness. You need a grounds to stand on.
That's quite the philosophical conundrum.
If you don't answer it, asking questions regarding art made by mind doesn't go far.
If I had to answer, I wouldn't need to ask.
Defining consciousness is complicated. I could say a rock have consciousness.
And I would debate that.
Not particularly the well-spent time I would want to have.
Consciousness, if I had to assign a definition, is an emergent property of complex reactivity.
What if such complex reactivity choose to be dormant inside a rock?
Reactivity, though, can be observed, measured, tested. That's why I listed it.
You aren't a rock to make sure of that.
Rocks don't react to things. Even trees have some degree of reactivity.
They can choose to not to. Do you ever experience being a rock?
Rocks can't choose anything. Rocks lack the capacity for self-defined change.
This subjectivity view is impossible to obtain, because the lack of probability of one view to get outside of itself. How do you know for sure? You can't. You aren't a rock to say that.
This line of argument isn't based on anything. I don't need to be a cat to know that my cat is capable of thinking and reacting.
It's based on the view of a rock that cannot be obtained because one cannot be a rock.
You don't need to be something to learn about it.
The subjective view of the rock is unachievable.
We don't need any subjective view of a rock.
You need to be a rock to know if the rock is actually conscious in any capacity.
A rock is a composite of elements, not a life form.
You don't know what the rock think. It's impossible.
Rocks don't think.
What you think is based on the narrow view of the mind have.
Consciousness is not something that just happens. It has requirements to arise.
The rock could prove you wrong if they wanted to.
It is an emergent property of complex enough reactivity. Rocks do not ever, under any circumstances, react to anything. They cannot. They do not possess the physical mechanisms to do so. Anyway, also this debate is unfathomably stupid, and I don't want to have it anymore.
If you turn into a rock you can't see, can't hear, can't do anything at all.
The market is a complex adaptive system with no cause and effect, but simultaneously somehow
This is
incredibly
stupid.
efficient.
Stop
with
talking
quants from
about
Wall
it.
Street and
How could
space,
someone
pricing in
possibly
every
know you were
individual
there?
photon hitting the
Okay,
Earth, and how
anyway,
those photons
how
translate
about
to local
something
weather
else?
patterns correlating
This is
to
the core problem
fluctuations
with
in the wheat
defining
futures market.
consciousness.
You think NASA wants
Stop.
to go to space?
It's
Goldman
subjective.
Sachs has bases
Stop.
on the moon where senior
me.
analysts are
No
pricing
one
in
wants
each
to
lunar
engage in this
asteroid
conversation
impact, and how the
anymore.
moon's additional
It's just a
mass
rock.
affects the tidal
Stop.
forces altering
You
salmon
can't bear the
migration so they
insanity
can
of our
efficiently
reality.
price the Atlantic salmon futures market.